Hi there, this is Paul Thompson from Spitfire Audio. Very excited today to be able to show you the second instalment in our Phalanx series of brass libraries. This is the Trumpet Phalanx. We have 6 incredible players in the hall at Air Lyndhurst Studios. And I'm going to show you very quickly, we have a new Easy Mix layout on the front panel. So the traditional controls with the spanner, but you'll first be presented with this way of accessing the microphones, and you can go from close to intermediate and then to far. So as you can hear, you can control very easily which combination of mics and how you're doing it there, or you can just go back into the mic mixer and use the normal kind of setup. So I'm going to get my preferred balance up here, and I'm going to show you all of the articulations. So as you heard just then, we have the staccato, and I'll show you this with each of the mics solo, just so you can hear the basic sound. So here is the close mic. Here is the decad tree. Here is the ambient mics. These are the most distant. And finally the outriggers, the slightly wider sound. So I quite like having this kind of balance up. You get the kind of bite from the close mics, you get the nice wide sound from the outriggers, and then a little bit of the ambient to carry into the hall. So you're listening to the staccato. Here is the slightly longer short, the tenuto. And again, we've got these with the short release trigger articulation, so this is enabled. So if you let go of the note prior to it finishing, you can get that shorter end to the note. Here is the marcato, play you the full length. And again, if you want to end that note early, you can do. So we've got 2 longs here. The first one is the normal standard long note. Again, dynamic controlled via the mod wheel. And then we've got our cuivre, kind of brassier, edgier sound. And then we've got our multi-tongue. Now, with the multi-tongue, if you remember from the previous Phalanx series and from our individual brass lines, we have a couple of different performance options to the multi-tongue. So first up, you're hearing the double tongue, and then I'm playing it softly to get a shorter, tighter end. If I play harder, you can hear that the note end is slightly accented. So tight, play softly, low velocity for the tighter end, and play harder to get the accented end with a slightly longer end there. And with the variation slider, you can get the triple tongue, and then also the quad tongue. So that shows you how the multi-tongue works. So we've got our rips and falls, and here is the short rip. And then if we flick the variation slider across, we get the longer rip. And then our falls, again a short fall. And then for variation slider, a longer fall. So moving on to the performance palette. Now, the performance palette is set up. I'm going to flick into the normal mic view mode, get the same kind of balance up. The performance palette has 2 sections. It has the performance legato and the Fanfare Sculptor. The performance legato is doing some pretty clever stuff under the hood. So basically any playable speed, including runs, you can play. Velocity 1 to 42 gives you the original long attack. 43 to 127 gives you a stronger marcato attack. And then you've got a marcato attack on the intervals between velocities 85 to 127. CC1 controls, the mod wheel controls the dynamics as usual. So let's have a quick listen, and I will start off the first phrase with a normal original long attack. And then if I start with a stronger marcato attack, and playing the stronger marcato intervals as well there. So let's have a quick listen, and I'll play some faster stuff now. And again, so you can hear they're very, very agile, very quick. Now the Fanfare Sculptor, we have fast repeated notes and velocities 1 to 99. Our kind of starting and individual notes 100 to 110, and our held notes 111 to 127. CC1 controls your level, and it sounds like this. So you can hear that I'm kind of catching some of the velocities right, and some of them I'm not quite catching right. But really the way that to use this is to play the part in, getting it kind of the notes roughly right, and then you go in and tweak. And what I would generally do is I'd use for the first note, like if you're going to go dum, da 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 dum, then for the first note I would use those 100 to 110 range, and then for the long note at the end you use the maximum velocity. And then for the really short notes in the middle, you use the kind of sub 100. So you can really kind of make it sound great. Now, one interesting thing, if I just nip into the individual brushes here, is that if we go for the Fanfare individual brush, I might just leave this with the tree up and then you can hear that. You've got play two-handed option on this. It's not in the other patch because the other patch has a legato in, and for technical reasons it has to be in the individual. But in the individual now, you can, if you find the right place for each hand, you can play. So you can hear, apart from my slightly keck-handed playing, it's much, much easier to get those really quick kind of things. So very, very cool individual brush there for the Fanfare patch. And then within the library as well, we've got, as usual, we've got our kind of alt mics, which I will show you now. We'll go back to the Staccato. And these ones here are our close ribbon mic. We've got our stage pair. We've got our gallery mics. So much, much higher up in the gallery there. And then you've got the Jake Jackson mixes within the stereo mixes folder here. And again, you've got a choice between the fine brush, I'll go for the staccatos again, and then you've got the medium brush, and then the broad, most epic sound. So some very useful different colours there, and a really great sound, these guys playing in the hall. So I hope you're going to enjoy writing with the Trumpet Phalanx. Thanks very much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye-bye.